Hello, it's Jim Hutchens for the Jerusalem Connection Truth Report for this week. I want to depart from our study on the book of Romans, dealing with the Palestinian replacement theology because of the current events in Israel. As you know, the three kidnapped teenagers have been found murdered. And the place where they've been found is significant, as you'll see in just a moment. I want to relate this to a truth report that I gave a couple of weeks ago, in which I quoted from Dr. Gary Burge's book. He is the professor of Bible at Wheaton College, my alma mater, and I'm ashamed to say that he's there. But he says in his preface to the first edition, I read this last time, but I want to do it again because of the current events. As a preface to this, I would say that Dr. Burge is owned by Palestinian liberation theology, Palestinian replacement theology. This is what he says in his preface to the first edition. Hahul is mentioned and is listed in Joshua's as one of the towns. Joshua 15:58 is among those towns awarded to the tribe of Judah following Joshua's conquest. Incidentally, in verse 13 of Joshua 15, it says, the Lord commanded. Joshua did what the Lord commanded, what Yahweh told him to do. Now here's the question, says Dr. Burge. Who owns Hahul? Should the Arab residents who have lived there for countless generations be displaced based on a given promise to Joshua? In the Bible, a promise given to Joshua, should they be displaced because of this? Dr. Burge says, no, they should not be displaced. That's his. God says in his eternal covenant with Abraham and the descendants of Abraham that they are to have this land. Now here's the question, he says. Who owns Hahul? Should the Arab residents who lived there for countless centuries be displaced and based on a promise given to Joshua? No, says Dr. Burge. He goes on, if a Jewish settlement is built tomorrow, called perhaps Kiryat Hahul, or the town of Hahul, city of Hahul, and its settlers claim that they have arrived to fulfill the pledge given by God to Jews, is this claim justified? Dr. Burge says no. No, it's not justified. And so the justice of God, the integrity of God, is called into question. That's blasphemous heresy, I would say to you. He goes on. Is this claim justified? What happens to the thousands of people who live in Hahul today? Does such a claim from the Bible trump a claim of historic residence? Dr. Burge says no. That their historic residence trumps the promise of God that the land belongs to the Jews. It's an everlasting promise. Now that's the issue with those who would support the Palestinian claim that their longevity somehow supersedes, takes precedent over God's promises. Now I tell you that because it's very interesting to note that the town of Hahul, which is just north of Hebron, is where these three kidnapped teenagers were murdered and buried under a pile of rocks. And guess what? The two suspects to their murder and kidnapping are from Hahul, the Palestinians who have a right, according to Dr. Burge, because of their longevity to be in the land. And may I say to you, that's what we can continue to expect from Palestinians moved, supported, armed, trained by Hamas. This is not going to stop. As I speak, I understand that there's some 40 sorties of planes that have come in to attack Gaza, maybe more by the time you get this. But I think the answer to this is given to us by the Apostle Peter. How do we respond? How should believers respond? How did Peter, an apostle, respond to those like these two kidnappers, murderers, those who support them, Dr. Burge from the Bible department of Wheaton College? This is what God says through the Apostle Peter in 2 Peter chapter 2. These men blaspheme. These men blaspheme in matters that they do not understand. They're like brute beasts, creatures of instinct, born only to be caught and destroyed, and like beasts they too will perish. They will be paid back with harm for the harm that they have done. That's God's sentence through the Apostle Peter to these animals who kill because of what the religion tells them. Innocent Israelis. Listen to this verdict. And I say to you, it goes to those who support them as well. These are brute beasts, animals, brute beasts, creatures of instinct, born only to be caught and destroyed. Born only to be caught and destroyed. And that's the truth.